Peace, peace, peace. What's going on, everybody? About to make another video real quick, going over another deep subject. Gotta upgrade y'all, give y'all some more intellect. Had a request on my IG channel to go over the importance of rebuilding your DNA. I thought that's a very important subject, very important thing to talk about. My IG still is kind of banning me on going live, so yeah, y'all just gotta work with me. Sorry, I'm that guy. What can I say? But anyway, so the importance of rebuilding yourself, reconnecting back with your cellular self, and understanding how important that is on all levels. That's what we're gonna go through today. And yeah, we got some very important things to talk about, so I'm gonna get straight to it. First, let's start off with this. What is DNA, right? For those of y'all that don't know, DNA stands for deoxy ribonucleic acid, okay? And basically what that is your amino acid structures that formulate your genetic codes, your personality traits, a lot of things that build you start off from your DNA. Even smaller, they start off from what we call the archives. Okay, what kind of archives? Well, you have to do some research. Okay, but your DNA is basically information at its rootest core. Now the thing with DNA, when we look at DNA, you actually get a lot of credit going to DNA, but no one actually talks about the other thing that actually helps the DNA move, which is your RNA. Okay, and your RNA is your ribonucleic acid, right? And you actually have three types of RNA, which is basically your mRNA, your rRNA, and your tRNAs, right? And basically these are your messengers and help with transfer of your DNA. Now, why are we going through all that? Why is that so important? Why am I even talking about that today? Well, let me tell you guys something. You are seeing yourself as a human body in this whole thing, but you at your rootest core is a double helix DNA strand. Okay, these are the foundational pillars that created yourself. And on a genetic code, this is also how you repair yourself and heal yourself. You cannot heal yourself from a outside in perspective without healing yourself from the inside out perspective first. As so above, as so below. And so because of that, you have to go cellular. You have to go at the smallest strains, right? There's been some studies that your DNA is so powerful with information. It can hold so much information that one little strain of DNA can actually create over 700 million different books of just pages of coding and information. So showing you how powerful and how knowledgeable we are as creatures and as beings of light and love and intelligence, right? Now, the importance of why we need to rebuild our DNA, why we need to make sure that we stay connected with ourselves, is to not lose ourselves. We must understand that the reality that we live in this third dimensional plane underneath the sun and rotated with the opposite polarity of the moon, we have to understand that this is not a permanent place. We all have expiration dates. We all have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And in that correspondence of life, you have to understand that if your DNA at its rootest core is not bridging correctly, okay, you are creating diseases for yourself. Let's look at the etymology of the word. The word means dis-ease, okay, which means you have taken the easy part of living and you have distorted it and created a dis-ease for your living. Now, when we are looking at the DNA and the RNA, we must understand that these are all just information, right? Now let's break down what information. Well, you wouldn't believe this, but when we actually look at what DNA is on the double helix, on the 12 strain double helix, Some have even say we might have more, but who knows? It's been proven, at least for right now. Plus, when we look at the word information, what does that actually mean? Well, let's break it down. It means information. You see that? Information, which means your DNA is literally the information that it's supposed to be in. And once you step out of formation, you have now distorted your whole creative reality and existence and genetics, because of the fact that you are not flowing with nature anymore, right? And so the importance of rebuilding your DNA, the importance of allowing yourself to regrow again and rehab yourself, is to connect yourself again with your creator. It's to connect yourself back to the homeland. It's to connect yourself back to who you really are and to get back on your mission and your purpose. You must understand that without your DNA connecting the bridges in all regions, okay, you have like a helix that's spinning around through all of your cells, all of everything in your genetic coding. You also have mitochondria, right, which are basically the powerhouse movements of the cells, right? All these things are on a cellular level creating who you are. You are a physical one body, but your one body is made up of 150 trillion cells. And some of these cells are prokaryotic cells, and some of these cells are eukaryotic cells. Basically, the biggest difference is meaning that one has a nucleus and the other doesn't. When you have a nucleus, you basically have a black hole in the center of your cell. You basically are the darkness in chaos, or in chaos energy that has allowed creation to flow and to create the beautiful manifestation of what you are and who you are, right? So when we're looking at what we need to do to rehab and to rehabilitate our DNA, we have to understand the codes and the information that it comes with. Your information carries your genetics, it carries your timelines, it carries your thoughts, it carries your traumas, it carries your personalities, it carries your habits, it carries your everyday existence. It literally is at your rooted core, it is who you are. This is why you need blood to get DNA samples, to figure out if you're connected to somebody on a family tree or not. You can even look at the intelligence factor when you take certain like stem cells and certain brain marrow and bone marrow from people to determine, you know, what kind of diseases or what kind of mishaps these people have, right? And so your DNA with your RNA, literally it goes in a process that creates everything. You have DNA, which is the founding pillars and blocks, and then you have your RNA, which actually transfers it throughout your body. And then once all that is completed, you actually get the whole manifestation of yourself. So to create these very intelligent principles, we must understand to rehab, to heal, is basically simply at its basic form is to get back into formation. You have fallen out of formation, which has now created the dis-ease, and you have now burned off the bridges. Okay, the bridges are the connecting points that keep everything together. If they're not together, then you are going to collapse, right? Think of cars going across a bridge, and those bridges don't have pillars on it. Once enough weight gets put onto those bridges, what happens? They collapse. Or if you have an earthquake, or if you have some type of natural disaster as a flood or something like that, these bridges get distorted and they can fall off the ramp, and they can flood and they can go down. Well, the same thing can happen in your body as well, and this is all simply due to your diet. Now, when we're looking at our diet, we also must understand that diet is not just in the base of food. Diet is also in the base of what? Information. So when we are looking at life, you must realize that everything around you is information. From the food that you intake, from the books and the TV and the media that you engage with, from the people you're around, from the habits that you have, from the activities that you take place in, Everything around you is information. Nature itself is information. When you go and look at an animal, you can read the genetic codes on that animal. Is it a four-legged creature? Is it furry? Does it have ears? Does it have eyes? When you go out into the plant world, you can see all the different kinds of plants that are releasing different pheromones and different hormones and have different structures within them, right? Who also absorb nutrients from the sun as you do through a thing that we call photosynthesis. Now, one of the things that we deem impossible or we don't compare to is that we don't realize that we are plant-based beings as well. We are actually made up from the water and from earth. You understand? And because of that, we also go through our own stage of photosynthesis. And that photosynthesis isn't the same exactly as what we call a literal plant. There is one variable that is different, and that's basically the cellular membrane, or the cellular membrane. And so because of that, we have to understand that your connection to Earth, to Mother Nature, to Father Time, to all the elements of the Earth is simply rooted through your DNA and how you orchestrate yourself in a manner that bridges everything back together. When you look at life, you realize that everything is you and you are life. So why would you destroy it? When you're looking at a beautiful insect or a beautiful animal that doesn't look anything like you to the physical eye, when you actually go down to the cellular level, go put that being's genetics codes under a microscope and go put yours, you will see that there's not many differences. Sure, there's different types of cells and different types of beings that have different formations, right? But at its rootest core, all life is the same, from the cosmos all the way down to the microscopic realm, okay? We just have this illusion placed over us that our eyes can only see so much, and we must understand that if our eyes could see everything, we would have a much different understanding of how life works. Like for example, you feel the air around you. You know it when your hairs stand up, or when it gets cooler in temperature or hotter in temperature. But you can't see any of that air. So that doesn't mean that the air doesn't exist, right? Same thing with the spiritual realms, okay? You cannot see the spiritual realm in the existence of matter, all right? This is why you are in the physical third plane dimension of matter. So now you must understand that healing yourself comes from a spiritual place, okay? Because that is where you come from. That is why you have a soul. That is why you have a spirit. That is why you have a mind. Not a brain, which you do have too, but a mind. You see, we can't see any of those things. The only thing that you in fact can see is your body, right? And your body is a physical manifestation of the station that you are frequency or frequently operating in. You understand? This is why I have used the term of name frequency healer, because you got to understand that you yourself, your body, is a frequency. It is a vibration. Think of yourself as a radio station. When you find the correct channel, you hear everything clearly. The music plays correctly. The flow of it goes. But once you change that channel even off by one bit, it becomes distorted. And what do you hear? Static. Well, what do you think disease is? What do you think sickness is? That is you operating off channels in the static realms. So, to regain the bridges back and to get back into a state of homeostasis and to start re-bridging your DNA and to gain back your memory again, to gain back your genetics again, to gain back the veins in your body, the muscles in yourself, the life force within you. You have to re-bridge these connections. And the best way and the ultimate way to do that is going to be through your fruits with a little bit of vegetables and some nuts and seeds. Okay? But mainly fruits. Why? Because we gotta understand that everything that we do is information. Everything. Right? And when we look at information, we gotta understand what is the experience that a fruit goes through. Okay? When you have a tree that gets planted from a seed and then it ends up growing, okay, and then it allows itself to vegetate and then it has a fruit at the end of its labor, you must understand that that fruit was sitting underneath the sun its whole entire growth process. Now, there is no denial on the fact that the sun is the most energetic force in the entire cosmos. At least in our place right now it is, right? We deem that when we look at the sun burns us, right? The sun actually isn't burning anything. What it is, it's an overload of information that your body cannot handle because you have been distorting your frequency, have been distorting your channel. You understand? Because, for example, if you're a carnivore, right, you've been eating your meats, okay? Which I'm not against whatever you choose to do for yourself, but you must understand that everything has a cause and an effect. When you eat your meat, when we look at the jungle for a carnivore, first of all, we must realize that carnivores are raw meat eaters, okay? Most of you guys cook your food, okay? Which is already a direct violation of a carnivore diet anyways, just that alone, all right? Now, when you're cooking your food, you must realize that all that grease, all that bacteria that's coming off of that, okay, that is the oils and the bacteria sinking out of the flesh of the meat. And when you go out in the sun and you're experiencing being sunburnt, you're experiencing skin cancer, things like that, you must realize these aren't a genetic disorder from yourself. This is you overloading yourself with oils that are burning. The sun is information that expands that because you're a being of light, and that light is supposed to go through you like a magnifying glass, and it's supposed to reciprocate light, love, and energy. But if it is clogged, what does it do? It burns the grease out, just like meat does when you cook it. So think of your meat as the sweat or the blood or the pus within you, or what we call the lymph within you. If your skin isn't properly filtrating things out, or your kidneys or your adrenal glands, due to your lymphatic system, well, the only thing left to do is through your skin. And then when the sun is overloaded with nothing but information, you can't handle it. You don't know what to do with it because it's nothing but information. It's nothing but energy. Inner chi. The inner chi within you flows within all of us, with all beings in all shapes and forms. And these are all rooted from your DNA. You have DNA. The planet has DNA. Every animal and every plant has DNA. And all these are formation, information. When you are in sync with yourself, you are in formation. When you are dissync with yourself, you are at dis-ease or disformation or out of formation. You understand? So bridging yourself back is very easy. It's very simple. You must get back to nature. You must start eating more of your fruits. Not more, all. You must realize that by genetically speaking, your anatomy is based for fruits. It is designed to eat fruits. Okay, fruits are the most juiciest, luscious, hydrative things in the entire world. And you know what else is compared to that? Now, this part I'm going to give shout outs to Yakai Awaken just because he resurrected this knowledge. Now, he didn't create this knowledge, as the real ones know, but he did bring it back to the surface, so I will give him his kudos for that. But we're going to look at H3O2, right? Which is off the chemistry table, and that is basically the fourth phase of water. Okay, water is alive. Water is within you as well. Okay, these are all your molecules and everything that is existing within you that gives you your blood, your lymph, your source. It gives you everything. Okay, at its rootest core, the only thing on the face of the planet that gives you that same nutrient base is going to be your fruits. Especially your melons. Ooh, the melons. Ooh, when it's hot outside, y'all better be eating y'all melons like crazy. Very high in carbon. Sugars, the good sugars, such as your fructose, your monosaccharide sugars, okay? Not that complex dextrose and polysaturated sugars. Y'all need to get away from all that stuff, okay? This is why y'all are dying, all right? This is why everything is collapsing right in front of your face. Okay, Y'all gotta understand that in order to bridge your DNA, in order to reconnect yourself back to nature, and back to yourself, you must realize where you come from. You do not come from Earth. You come from the stars. You come from what they would call the heavens. You come from a place of so much purity, love, and light, which maybe even be darkness. That's for you to decide. But, because everything is opposites. You know, what we call light may end up being darkness. And what we call darkness may end up being light. You never know. But one thing I can tell you is control what you can control. You can control the information you take in every day. You can control the books you read, the associations you have, the life you live, the food you intake. All this is information. And these informations are giving you the experience and knowledge to live your life through this place. This what you're looking at, even me, this is an avatar, everyone. This isn't what I actually look like. Even though, I think I'm a nice little... you know what I'm saying? But this is not what I actually look like. This is not what you actually look like. Now that might blow your mind, but hey, it is what it is. You look like something completely different. You are just light at its rooted core. You know what I'm saying? And your DNA is giving you the information to experience yourself in this place. So if you're not taking care of your DNA, and only looking at your DNA based off of what your family gave you, your looks, your genetics, and stuff like that, you are losing the bridges. More importantly, you're losing your RNA messaging, because that's what it's designed to. Your DNA creates your information, and then your RNA sends it out, right? You have your messenger ribose nucleics. You have your RNA, which is your rRNAs, which are your ribosome nucleic acids, and then you have your what did I say? You got your T's, your R's, and your M and your mRNA, which are the messengers, and you have your T's, which are your transfer RNAs. That was the other one. My bad. So everything is in sequence from the beginning all the way to the end. And when you're not aligned with that and flowing with that, everything goes like this. So get back into your helix, everyone. Get back into your unity. Get back into body, mind, spirit. Get back into love, peace, and light. You know what I'm saying? This is how you heal yourself. This is why it is so important to understand how to repair your DNA and how to re-heal yourself, because this is how you get back on your mission. This is how you get back on your course. This is how you start loving yourself again, loving those around you, and making sure that you're not causing any more destruction on the planet that you've already caused. You gotta stop thinking that you are just such a perfect being that hasn't done any harm on this place. You've damaged the planet more than you could have ever imagined. And that's only because you stopped going with nature. You believed in money and power and celebrities and all these other false idols more than you did the things that give you life, which would be the earth, the wind, the water, the fire, the planet, right? The animals, the insects. Yeah, all them animals that y'all like to eat, oh, don't worry. They give y'all life way more than you could ever imagine. The insects that you like to squish because they're all disgusting looking and nasty. If you would realize how much they actually help grow your food, you would be way more supportive of them. I promise you. I promise you would. But you don't study. You don't research, so you don't know. Alright? So that's my spill today on why reconnecting and re-bridging the DNA is so important. You must get back into formation with yourself, and you must learn about yourself and learn to love yourself. You are body, mind, spirit, okay? Spirit is the invisible. The mind is the invisible, but they are the creators of yourself. As I said, you have a spirit and a soul, And those two create your mind, and your mind is creating your body through the habits and the repetition of the information that you are intaking. So on a cellular level, if you clean your cells up, right, by starting to eat more fruits, getting rehydrated again, most of you guys are so dehydrated that the bridges have collapsed. Re-bridge those, and then you flow smoothly again. You flow back into operation. All right, so that's my spill today. I love you guys. Shout out to the brother that requested this type of video. I love sharing knowledge like this. Now, also want you to know too, I'm a master in many things, man. I'm a master in multiple subjects outside of health too, and I want y'all to get healthy so I can start explaining these other things to y'all, man, because the world is changing right in front of our eyes, and I hope y'all are ready for it. I really do. You know, I even have to study myself because these changes are epic. They're so big, and these energies are so big that if y'all aren't in tune with them, they're going to just weigh you down, and they're just going to keep making you more depressed and more saddened and more feeling like you're in a box. So break free from those boxes and re-bridge yourself, reconnect. So with all that being said, peace to the earth, peace to the gods and goddesses, peace to the high vibration of human beings, peace to the planets, peace to the animals, peace to the insects, peace to earth, wind, water, and fire, peace to love, peace to light, peace to healing, peace to yourself, peace to us. And let's rise, everybody. Let's love each other and let's heal ourselves. Love you guys. Have a great day.